Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk ANDOR. God, I love this show, and I wish more people were watching it. I wish I wasn't hearing news that the ratings were the lowest ever for a Star Wars television show. It hurts. It hurts. I understand why Andor doesn't have the same name recognition as a Boba Fett or an Obi-Wan Kenobi. It doesn't have a cute baby Yoda to draw in all the casual fans. You've kind of got to be a serious Star Wars fan to have given this a shot. But man, do I wish the word of mouth would spread and people would hear about how good the show is and not just discount it because, oh, it's Star Wars. Because honestly, I don't think you need to be a Star Wars fan to love this show. I think this transcends the Star Wars universe. It's a war story. It's a story of rebellion. It's grounded. The characters are multidimensional and fascinating, and they live in the gray spaces between good and evil. So many of the questions that we're being forced to confront in this show are about morality, relative morality. Like, how much bad stuff will you do to achieve your good goals? And I don't know if we're going to get a clear answer on any of them. I think one of the beauties of the show is how ambiguous it is. Who's got the better approach between Luthen and Mon Mothma? I don't know. All I know is Mon Mothma's still kicking in the original 3 movies. But who knows what happens to Luthen? It would appear that Luthen is being rather ruthless. If we believe his assistant, he wants Cassian dead just to tie up the loose ends. Although we never actually heard that order come from Luthen's mouth. We just know when his assistant went to go chat to Vel on Coruscant, she told Vel that Vel had to eliminate Cassian because he knows about Luthen, and we can't have that. We're being very cautious, we're being very protective, and it's better to cut off loose ends than leave them flapping in the breeze and hope. But I do wonder whether Luthen really knows about that and wants Cassian dead. I feel like Luthen has so much hope for Cassian. And I think it extends far beyond just the single mission on Aldhani. But I might be mistaken. At this point, now, he did tell Vel when he was first introducing Cassian to Vel, that's the beauty of a mercenary, is they are expendable. So, maybe not. But Cassian's got bigger worries, because while he was running and hanging out on this little resort planet, he got arrested for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and because the Empire just upped all its prison terms for anything even rebel adjacent, such as being mistaken for somebody saying anti-Empire sentiments, he just got sentenced to a summary 6-year sentence in this fascist court system with no defense or anything like that. Anyway, Cassian's off to prison. We know he's not going to serve 6 years because we know where he is in a little less than 5 years. And it sure as heck isn't in prison. But who might he meet in prison? Is he going to find his own way out of prison? Is someone going to break him out? Is Vel going to break him out? Are we going to meet some new people in prison? I can think of a couple of people that have been teased on this show that we haven't seen yet that may appear in there. Maybe we find the droid that becomes K2SO. Who knows? There's so many options, but I'm just as excited to find out more about what's happening in Luthen's world, Mon Mothma's world. I want to revisit Ferrix and see what's happening with Bix and Marva. I've grown attached to so many of these characters. I want to see Cinta get off of Aldhani and reunite with Vel. I'm invested. It's such a testament to this show that I'm invested in so many characters who I really knew nothing about prior to this show starting. I love that we're still flashing back. We flashed back last episode to that moment when Cassian's adopted father, Clem, tried to stand some local Ferrex citizens down while there was a bunch of clone troopers marching through. Instead, he got pegged as the instigator, and we know that he got hung for that. And we saw young Cassian charging this group of clone troopers with essentially a metal club. And we do know that he went to prison when he was like 13 or 14 for a couple of years for assault on an Imperial soldier or something like along those lines. So that all syncs up. That's why he went to jail the first time, for fighting back against the injustice. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to get involved in the fight. He doesn't want to get involved in the rebellion. The last time he stood up for his rights, he promptly got sent off to jail, and you can imagine that probably wasn't a great experience. But sooner or later, Cassian's opinion is going to change. Is it going to be here in jail? Is it going to be when he spends some time reading Nemik's manifesto? Does he still have that manifesto, or has he lost it along with all the credits back in his hotel room on this resort planet? Things aren't going well for Cassian, is my point. Let's watch this next episode. It's called Narkina 5. I don't know if Narkina has ever been established before in the Star Wars universe. It sounds like a planet or a moon or a prison planet or a prison moon, or it could be something else entirely. Maybe it's a musical group. Let's check it out. Episode 8. And I haven't even spoken about Dedra and Karn. I'm hoping Dedra finds Karn and, gets him involved.
No, wait!
But change of guidelines.
I didn't do anything!
Take it up with the Emperor.
I'm just a tourist!
Don't look at me. Move it!
Those are some unhappy stormtroopers.
Hey,
Oh, being transported somewhere. Where does Keith go?
Gargle! Keep Gargle!
home planet,
There is Plata!
Narkina 5.
What's that? What's Narkina 5? I'm a tourist!
Move it!
Yeah, that's... they're just rounding up all sorts. What did he say his home planet was? Not Ferrex, not Niamos. Fuel purity. ISB. Are they ISB? I think they are. Has Dedra called for him? Bare feet. Bare feet. Bare feet. Why? What's the bare feet of... Whoa. Okay. It is. Yes, Dedra's got Karn.
You keep submitting requests to the Bureau of Standards Data Center looking for Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor is a murderer and a threat to the Empire. I have been trying, with the limited tools available, to find him.
So this is about public safety.
It's a personal vendetta, too. He embarrassed you.
I'm just trying to clear my name.
One would think you'd want to leave Ferrex as far behind as possible.
One would be wrong.
Tell me, what's not in Lieutenant Blevins' report that I need to know?
I have no idea. I wasn't allowed to see the report.
You signed it.
I was given no choice.
Give him Blevins' report, let him read it, keep him in there.
Oh, I love it. I can't stand that I'm cheering for the ISB and Karn, but I love that they've hooked up. There's Narkina 5. Prison Moon? Labor camp? What's it gonna be? It looks cold. Oh my gosh. What are those? What interesting structures. They're sucking in all that water.
The thief was a local named Cassian Andor. He was wanted for the murder of 2 corporate security officers. Andor was in the act of transferring the unit to a person we've named Axis.
Oh.
This is quite the wish list.
If someone there is talking, we need to be listening.
It's a large investment.
It's a fraction of the price of lost technology. It's the first best lead we've had.
No, we don't know who he is. Nor do we know the scope of our problem. The little we are aware of is already
Troubling.
troubling.
Drink.
Drill down, find Andor, and get a hunt started.
Oh, she's getting a fourth blue chiclet for sure. She's making a name for herself.
Down the ramps now!
Why no shoes? What is up?
Breathe deep, brother. This may be the last fresh air we ever taste.
Breathe deep. Fresh air.
Welcome to Narkina 5. Your length of stay has been predetermined. The quality of that time will be up to you.
Well, that's nerve-wracking.
I'm sure some, if not all of you, are wondering how we risk standing before you without weapons. It's a potent question.
It's got to do with the feet.
One you won't need to have answered very often, but...
Your floors are electrified?
That was level 1 of 3.
Okay. That's petrifying
You've read the report?
and probably highly effective.
Worse than I feared.
You told Lieutenant Levin that Andor was in the company of an older man, tall, wearing a cloak. What's not in here?
Gray cloak, green. I heard his voice. I'd recognize it.
He wants to join the eyes.
Deputy Inspector?
I wish you luck. I'm running late.
It's clear you need Andor in order to find his partner. It could be a valuable asset going forward.
Forget this happened.
No. He wants to, like... Back to the Bureau of Standards. But she knows who he is.
Right, step forward. Let's go. Move. Step forward and stop. Now, move. Stop. Ready on the floor? Looks good. Prep for door.
This is a lot of guys to control one prisoner.
On program.
Oh, wow.
Step onto the lift and stop. Move forward.
I feel nervous that his hands aren't fully behind his head. Wow, this is a well-trained prison population. I'm so freaking curious what they're making.
This is Unit 52D. 7 levels of factory, 7 rooms per level, 7 tables per room, 7 men each table. The 49 men in this room answer to me.
Is he a prisoner?
You're mine now. You have been assigned table 5. Last place, that's you. You play against all the other tables in this room. I play against all the other rooms. Play.
The whole thing's a competition?
I have 249 days left of my sentence.
He is another prisoner.
My room in the top 3 on the level. You will want to keep that happening. Don't ever slow up my line. Table 5.
Okay. Wow.
Hi! So what do we call you?
Kid.
I'm Gembox. Welcome. Zol. Targa. Ula. Ham. This is Melshi.
We just got introduced to so many new characters. I'm like, this is going to take some serious learning.
See where I am this time tomorrow with 7 men.
Uh-oh.
9 to swing, I'll be feeding the table.
Uh-oh.
So it might be a little different.
It's on the box. They're calling him.
What does that mean?
Shift productivity levels are unacceptable.
39 minutes on the tongue.
As ever, the least productive table will be disciplined.
Disciplined. What, is that just shocked on the floor, or is there more to it? Okay.
Come on, boys.
What do you do?
Let's go.
Put me to work. Get in there, Cassian. Be a team player. That's what you're going to learn in prison. How to be part of a team. What are they building exactly? Big old industrial joints. Cassian's got a mind for that. He might be able... Oh my god.
Not for me.
The new legislation is definitely having an effect.
The rebels might have thought that over before blowing up Aldani.
Sagrona Tima.
Sagrona Tima.
The new banking regulations are making life difficult.
Difficult or impossible?
You're here all the time now. I should find Dad. Nice to see you again.
Lita's suspicious. And I'm suspicious of her. Man, he looks stunned. Like he's already broken.
Down!
What's he doing? Who's he signaling? Ah, what's going on? Man. The design of this place is just bonkers.
Surveillance and prosecution, without limit. If you're doing nothing wrong, what is there to fear?
I'm fearing your definition of wrong.
These are dangerous times.
Do you feel under threat?
Personally, here, yes. I'm at great risk of ingesting too much of this nourishing Chandrilan hospitality.
White is cold, red is hot. If the white lights start flashing, you've got 7 seconds to get to your cell.
7 seconds.
Water, night light, toilet flips down, got a plate, spoon, and shaver.
Little capsule hotel.
You can get as much as you want. They like us healthy and fueled.
Food.
Don't worry, you learn to eat it.
Tube food.
Top table wins flavor. Last place gets fried.
Wow.
And that is your tab.
How many days you have to spend?
Ask him already.
Ask him.
They doubled everyone's number last month. PORD. Can't help but wonder what people are saying.
Not much.
He's never heard of it.
Yeah. PORD.
I'm sorry. All the rebel activity.
It's rebel nonsense.
I don't know anything about it.
30 seconds on red floor.
Hot floor!
Get in your cells. Get in your cell. Come on, man. Get. Come on, Cassian. Jeez. Follow everyone else. Learn the system. I don't see how you're breaking out of this. This is not some, like, cobbled together prison, though. It is a system that has been designed.
No, Mon became a senator at 16.
So this is where you met?
No, we'd already been married a year.
So romantic.
Sounds
traditional.
In
The old ways of Chandrila.
As was the custom.
preordained. That makes a lot of sense. That it was never a marriage of love. It was always one of arrangement. Is there anything to stop them from having conversation? Well, 2,189. 30 shifts. He's been here a month. The guy right in front of him was the one throwing hand signals. Oh, we got group showers. The organization, the cooperation, like, I mean, he might take some really valuable lessons away here.
Pinjan.
Old man.
Help him. Yeah, come on, mate.
Old man's gonna die.
Hey! Taking a breather. Come on, guys! You got a chance of winning the shift today.
Wow. Oh, it's Buddy from episode 1 and 2.
I'm just trying to figure out if you need a doctor or not.
She has pain in the knee.
Oh, Marva.
You got dizzy again.
She banged her head. Oh.
She fell trying to pry open the Aldrich's floodgate. She wanted to see if the tunnel under the hotel was still open.
Why?
So the rebellion can sneak in and take them by surprise. She's a rebel.
Let's start a cell.
Cassian.
You really don't know where he is?
Oh. Hello, Val. Is that Cinta?
Who's the big one?
Awesome.
We'll just stay here and wait. Just hope he shows up. Could be anywhere.
This is all we have right now. What's the alternative?
After what we've been through.
This is a fight to the death.
Are you willing to sacrifice your relationship for the greater good?
Who would you say you are?
Maybe I'm a rich girl, running away from her family. I told you up front. The struggle will always come first.
That's what Vel is. A rich girl running away from her family. So she's not related to Luthen. Probably.
What's up?
I need to look for something in the back.
She's gonna try and find Cassian to let him know about Marfa. That's not gonna work. But she'll at least speak with Luthen. Or does she even speak with Luthen directly?
Leia?
Did you just say Leia?
We're not answering. We can't.
She could point us in the right direction.
She's asking us.
She knows more than we do.
More likely it's the ISB working her radio.
You're guessing.
And you're slipping.
shutting down Ferrex. The code, the frequency, all of it. Tell me to shut it down.
No.
I'm not slipping, Leia. I've just been hiding for too long.
Vulnerability is inevitable.
Shut it down.
Are we just discovering her name is Leia? I feel like Leia is only supposed to be like 14 or something at this point. It must just be a coincidence. Or a mishearing. Too cautious. Man. This is hopeless, this episode. So Cinta's staying on Ferrex. Vel can't stay. Where's Luthen off to?
Let's take the long way around.
Rerouting Segramilo.
Segramilo. Why Segramilo? Oh, what's this guy about to do? He wants to shock himself? Is he just giving up?
Table 3, the tall one fell! He jumped!
Wow. Oh. Why the alarms? What's happened?
Tell me! Where are they taking my father?
Oh.
Me, where is he?
What's going on?
They took Pac in last night.
Where?
The hotel. He never came home.
She's worried that her using the radio might have had an impact. Does she recognize? Oh. She's known.
Vix Colleen! Get her!
Oh, no. How do you hide? Run, Bix, run! But where? Ah! Segramilo. Oh. Bad ass.
Oh, my friend. The garrison at Aldani.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you the same thing.
You'd never tell me if it was.
Would I be out here in the cold if I had just pinched 100 million credits?
That's exactly what you do. Aren't you tired of fighting with people who agree with you?
You come all this way to scold me? Or did you bring me some toys?
I did, but they're not for free.
Nothing with you is free.
So this is where the stolen stuff's going.
At what cost?
Enter Krieger. I want you to meet him. The spell house. He's found a weakness in the defenses. It may take some time to work up, but he's got an angle.
The man is an ox. I'll take all 3 deflectors. How much?
No, you meet with Krieger, they're free. You don't, I'll take them elsewhere.
I work alone.
That's what I'm trying to change.
I'm not going to put my people at risk.
We need to pull together, Saw. There's no chance any of us can make it real on our own. We need the Empire to help.
It needs to be a rebel alliance.
Coming down hard. Oppression breeds rebellion. Krieger needs their support.
I'm not for hire.
Think of it.
They're lost! All of them, lost!
Forrest freaking Whitaker, man. Loving this.
What are you?
What's your label? Is that all?
I'm a coward. I'm a man who's terrified the Empire's power will grow beyond the point where we can do anything to stop it. I'm the one who says we'll die with nothing if we don't put aside our petty differences.
Petty? I am the only one with clarity of purpose.
Oh, they got her to the hotel. Oh, she's spaced here now. That's awesome.
On our way up. Would you like us to clear the room?
No.
Oh, they took the
I
father.
wanted to see him.
Okay.
What are you doing? Get him out of here. Quickly.
You two, with me.
It's all theater. It's all theater. Damn, she's good. Now I hate Dedra again. But I'm scared of her. Oh, she's terrifying now. I love this. This whole thing is built. There's a. Oh, wow. It was Andy Serkis. Oh my god. I thought he was familiar. I just couldn't figure it out at all because face blindness. But oh, the head of the room and Forrest Whitaker. I mean, really, there should be zero surprise that the performances are so good on this show when you've got Stellan Skarsgård and Forrest Whitaker and Andy Serkis in supporting roles. It's magnificent television, and this whole episode was such a downer. But just because nothing in particular bad happened to anyone this episode, other than nothing's going right. Cassian's going to prison. He already got arrested last episode, so this is just the evolution of that. I mean, he's just resigned himself to being in jail and being part of this labor gang, and he's got 2,159 days in his sentence to go. He's been there 1 month out of 72. Terrifying, but what else can you do? Because that's not just some like makeshift jail in some random place. This is a custom designed prison factory built to Empire standards, run to Empire efficiency. It's brutal, it's calculating, but the guards aren't vicious. You hardly even see the guards because the floor is electrified, and the winners get flavor and the losers get fried. And that's all there is. So you put one of your own in charge of a group, and he tries to run. He's competing, like tables compete against other tables, rooms compete against other rooms. I'm sure at some level floors are competing against other floors, and it's Empire, it's Imperial efficiency at its absolute finest, and it's petrifying. It's petrifying, and it's hopeless. That's the worst part. Like, how do you find a prisoner here, and how do you get him out? You don't. Like, the layers of security, and like it's impossible. So what? Like, Cassian has no hope. I legitimately don't understand how he gets out now. We know he gets out prior to his 6 years, but how? Because I'm as confused as the next person right now as to how that could possibly happen after what we saw this episode. It seemed there is some sort of communication going on between rooms, between floors, these hand signals at when we were lined up in those tunnels, but what that all means, I don't know. But the other prisoners have even less hope than Cassian, because these new PORD regulations that have increased prison times and all of that sort of thing, most of the public out in the galaxy don't even know about this. This is an Empire rule. It affected all the prisoners, but nobody day to day knows about it. It's something that the ISB's taken care of. I love that this show continues to subvert expectations. Like, I knew that Dedra was smart enough to track down Karn and talk to him directly. Knew that was happening. Loved finally seeing that at the start of the episode. I thought, in typical story writing fashion, that Karn would get a job at the ISB working under her. He would have an avenue to direct his ambition and gain some measure of revenge against Cassian for destroying his life, all of this. But Dedra's not interested in that. She took note of him. She had a conversation with him, but she sent him right back to the Bureau of Standards once she got what she needed. That seems more realistic. But it's not what we're used to when we're watching story develop. And I love that we're leaning realistic every time when we have those options in front of us. I love that the caution the rebels are taking is what's keeping them from being successful right now. Saw Gerrera, we finally met him at the very end. The great Forrest Whitaker in this small role, this name that's been bandied about the rebellion through a bunch of different shows. We saw him back in Clone Wars and Rebels. He made his brief appearance in Rogue One, and here he is again. But he doesn't want to work with other rebel factions, other rebel groups. Luthen's doing his best to try and get these little cells to work together. He's trying to form the Rebel Alliance, is what he's trying to do. But nobody wants to do that. There's differing ideologies. There may be anti-Empire, but that doesn't mean they agree with each other for their driving force, their driving motives. I love that. So Luthen's assistant is called Leia. I think that's what I heard. That's what I heard multiple times this episode. I think it's the first time her name really registered with me. But that can't be Leia Organa. She's too old. Because Princess Leia should be like 14, 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, I think. So it must just be, maybe I'm mishearing it, or maybe it's spelled differently, or I don't know. But in any case, Leia convinced Luthen that he should shut down communication with Bix on Ferrix. He was keeping it open, hoping that they would get some news about Andor somehow. Nobody knows where Andor is. Nobody knows where Cassian is. He's in prison under an assumed name. As far as the Imperial prison system is concerned, he's Keith Garga. Farga? I don't know. Cassian Andor has disappeared. Last anyone called him Cassian was back on Ferrix when he said goodbye to Marva. Marva's worse for wear because she's a rebel now and she's figuring out ways to attack the hotel and stuff. But there's not a cell on Ferrix yet. There's just a woman who in some senses has given up and she's willing to die on this hill. You know, Bix and Cassian's friend, I've forgotten his name, I'll have to go back. They're looking after Marva, and they may be the foundational pieces of a future cell on Ferrix. I could see that happening, along with the father and son that run that scrapyard. Everyone runs a scrapyard, but you guys know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that actually have the tower with the radio in it. That feels like the genesis of a cell there, but something's going to have to happen for them to be motivated enough and organized enough to operate under Dedra's nose, because Dedra's based on Ferrix now, and she's frightening now. We've been cheering for her for the last couple of episodes because she's been fighting against the bureaucracy of the Empire. She's not been given a chance, but she was persistent, she was clever, she was smart, she was very ambitious, and it worked for her. And she got the attention of the Major, Partagaz, and now she's like appealing directly to the he's not Admiral Yularen right now. I guess he's a Colonel Yularen, for resources to crack down on Ferrix. And Cassian Andor is absolutely their target. Through Cassian, they find Luthen. They don't call him Luthen, obviously. They call him Axis, which makes me very immediately reminds me of Fulcrum, which of course is a rebel nickname for another major character that probably won't appear in this series, but man, can I not wait for her next appearance. Yeah, so Luthen is Axis, and the Empire, the ISB, is hunting for him. They want to know who he is. They know that he's responsible for a lot of this stolen merchandise. We've been wondering about what all this tech is going to. Now we find out it's going to people like Saw Gerrera. It's probably going to other rebel cells in other places in the galaxy. But that's what he's doing. He's supplying these rebel cells with their mission. And now he's trying to get them to work together. Rebels are talking about the raid on Aldhani, but it wasn't enough to galvanize the Alliance. So more is going to have to happen, and that's probably why there's a second season waiting for us. But man, such a good show. I had this epiphany at the end of the episode, and I was going to talk it, and then suddenly the credits hit, because this show has a habit of just sort of stopping an episode. It doesn't really end on a climax or on a denouement. It just sort of, here's a thing, roll credits. And that was this factory room that Cassian is set up in now. It's all practical. It's built. Somebody built this prison factory, this room with these 7 tables, 49 performers. It's all real. Somebody figured out this whole system of, okay, what are they going to make? What do those parts include? What's the process for putting the pins in, and the wrenches, and the lasers, and the fiddly bits, and the lifting, and the racks, and so all of that is designed from scratch by a production design team that is blowing my mind on this show. The art department, the set designers, the decorators, the props, all of it is just like, the world building that's happened on this show is world class. I'm so impressed by the reality that it all generates, because it's all real. Yeah, it's all there. It's functional, it's real. It blows my mind. They built a prison for this show. They didn't just build that factory room. They built the dorm room with all these open cells, and the electrified floor, and the strip lighting, and all these things. They built like the functional food tubes, and like, so much thought went into it. They built this steam room and the locker room, and they built the intake hallway and the security room just before he got delivered to the factory floor. Like, they built so much for this location, and I don't know how long we're planning on being here, but I would be surprised if we're still in prison at the end of season 1. I thought, the way this show's been going arc-wise, that we'd get out of prison in episode 9, but I just don't see it happening now. There is no hope right now. There's no mission. There's no impending action that may get Cassian out. No one knows where he is. No one's going to find him because he's under a false name. The only thing that may happen is there's like some photo recognition technology or something that matches Keith's current photo with younger Cassian's and goes, these are the same man. And that would be an alert to Dedra and the ISB. And they may take him out of prison for questioning. But otherwise, like, the rebels aren't coming. Dedra, Vel and Cinta, Cinta's now permanently on Ferrix, keeping an eye on Bix and hoping that Andor makes an appearance. Presumably, they have accepted the mission and they're going to dispose of Andor when they find him. Vel is sort of back and forthing between Coruscant and Ferrix, it would seem. Cinta said something really interesting. She basically called Vel a rich girl running from her family, which doesn't fully mesh with the theory I had that she was like related to Luthen, but maybe she still is. Although she seemed eager to talk to Luthen on Coruscant last episode, and she didn't get that chance. So maybe she's not. Who is her family? Maybe we'll find out in season 2. But I love that Cinta's off Aldhani. She's back. She's active. I hope that Vel and Cinta help organize a cell on Ferrix. Like, if they get in touch with Marva and they develop a trusting relationship with Bix, then maybe there's a core that can begin to organize there. But what I'm seeing time and time again when rebels are introduced to one another, it's not all trusting and happy. It's super untrusting because what they're doing is basically punishable by death. They don't trust anyone new in their circle. So it's a challenge. Building the alliance is going to be an incredible challenge. It's going to take some incredibly charismatic people and some luck and some great planning, and yeah, I don't know what else. I don't think anything's going to come easy in this story, but hopefully by the end we're where we need to be. Yeah, this show just continues to impress me. I think this was our longest episode yet. I am all for it. Give me hour-long episodes if you want. Give me hour and a halves. Give me mini movies every week if that's what you're able to do, because I am eating this show up. I'll take all of it. Thank you very much. I cannot wait for next week. Until then, everybody, take care. Stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.